Everyone knows that Stardew Valley 1.6 was a major overhaul of the game. I've played Stardew for 6 years now, and returning to it after 1.6 made me feel like I was playing a completely different game. I loved the update, but because I am someone who is incapable of living in the present, I wanted to discuss some of my wishes for the future updates of Stardew Valley. As a disclaimer, I am not a coder, nor do I have any knowledge of video game design. I love this game, and I am so grateful to Concerned Ape, and this video is not meant to be a nagging list, but rather some things I'd love to see. Of course, if these are never implemented, I will still continue to play. Now let's get into it. The only reason I mod this game is for the dialogue. I love dialogue overhauls, and I love adding late game dialogue content. For the vanilla game, I'd love even if there were just a few more handfuls of dialogue for each character. Specifically, I'd love to see more late game dialogue, with early game dialogue removed after a certain point. For example, Marnie should no longer say my nephew Shane has been staying with us for a few months line after year 1, and Pierre shouldn't say that business has been slow since Joja moved in after you kicked them out of the valley. I think new sets of dialogue for years 2 through 3, then years 4 through 6 maybe, might help make the late game more immersive. Spouse dialogue can get stale very quickly, as the majority of them have around a few lines that are used daily. I would love to see more spouse dialogue added. For specific scenes I'm thinking of, I would love dialogue after literally dying in Skull Caverns, and maybe also when you talk to them with low health. Harvey specifically, please. I don't care that he still charges me, I just want your literal husband to acknowledge your near-death experience. And I know Shane's post-marriage character development is a hot topic. I would love if it could be coded that he doesn't like beer as a gift after marriage, or maybe after you see his 14 heart event. And I would love if his dialogue about beer, wine, ale, etc. be removed or changed. He doesn't necessarily need to completely give up alcohol, but it definitely feels weird to see him talking about it so casually. Or maybe he could even have a schedule change, where his schedule syncs with Jazz's more and he goes to the saloon less. While we're talking about marriage, I'd also love the addition of an anniversary feature, with it appearing on your calendar as a little icon and a line of spouse dialogue that's something like, wow, insert pet name, I can't believe it's been insert amount of years, and maybe they give you like a diamond or something cute. Now, I'm not one of those people who require an aesthetic overhaul mod, so this section is pretty short. For my first thing, I'd love a customizable horse with 3 set breeds. I was thinking Clydesdale, Arabian, and Chicaner for some various options. And maybe 2 colors for each breed, but that might be too much. I'd be okay with just the set. And while I love in-depth children, I understand it's probably never going to happen simply because of the sheer amount of work that would go into it. However, I do want them to look like the farmer. Maybe the game could utilize hex code randomization, like take the hex codes of your farmer's skin, hair, and eye color, and your spouse's, and give your children the middle ground of each, or give one child your colors, the other your spouse's colors, to make it even simpler. Though with skin color, it would still be best to have it be the midpoint just for realism's sake. And with the silo being the only building that cannot be painted, it's a real eyesore, so I'd love an upgrade that can be painted and hold twice the amount of hay. Once you have 2 barns full of pigs and 2 deluxe coops, maintaining the silo becomes a real pain. This section will go from small changes to big changes regarding gameplay, but there just isn't that much, as I do not find many problems with the gameplay here. Similar to the anniversary edition on the calendar, I would love to add a birthday for your farmer that you can change when you're customizing your character at the beginning of the game. It would be cute to have other villagers have a happy birthday farmer line if you're above 2 hearts with them. The person you're dating or married to could give you a gift, maybe the rarest item they could normally give you from their gift pool, or a universal love. As I'm using hoppers more in the late game, I do sometimes wish it could automatically collect stuff as well. However, this probably would have to come with the addition of making the hopper way more expensive, as otherwise it would be rather unbalanced. I don't know if this trade-off is worth it, but it's something to consider. Like everyone else, I am desperately in need of more use for the community center outside of Clint staring at the furnace once a week. Maybe we could have Tuesday aerobics held in one of the rooms, and have each character having a day a season where they use one of the rooms, most often in groups. For example, the mothers as a group, or Sebastian, Sam, and Abigail as a group. If reworking the schedules is too much of a hassle, it would also be cool to see a yearly event where everyone goes to the community center and hangs out. Maybe time could still pass to ensure that the schedule isn't too full of festivals. I was thinking this could be in fall, perhaps around fall 9, as fall has one of the emptier schedules in the game. Completing the community center is a lot of work, and while I do feel like the route fits the themes of the game way better than Joja does, it is a shame how underutilized the building itself is. This is an addition I'm not sure if I would even want, but it could be interesting. I've seen a lot of people discuss adding a farmhands mechanic where we could hire people to work on the farm. Specifically, the characters discussed are usually Sam and Shane, especially Shane, as they both lose their jobs after Joja Mart shuts down, and, in Shane's case, he never gets a job again, unemployed king. But I was thinking this mechanic could come into play a couple of in-game months after Joja Mart closes. Maybe Lewis comes up to you on the farm in the morning and talks to you about it. The farmhands could feed animals, repair fences, and pick crops for a fee, probably a per diem rate, with picking crops being the most expensive. It would overall be expensive, but it would be a nice late-game option. While spouses do a lot of this stuff already, they're rather unreliable, and this would add a touch of immersion between your farm and the community. If not, I'd love to just see Shane working in the cinema or the saloon a couple days a week. This mechanic would be hard to implement, but it could work out well. So that's what I have for now. I hope you guys enjoyed my first ever video, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Is there anything I missed that you'd like to add, or anything I want that you totally disagree with? Make sure to leave a comment explaining your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.